What's up, guys? Jake from OneHive here with our fourth segment of this series of a base breakdown. And as always, the man himself, Rex, is with us. What's going on, buddy?
Hey Jake, not much going on over here. It's good to see you again.
Yeah, man, you too. Rex is actually on a little vacation. We're going to have him back sooner than later. He can't stay away for long. But I hope everything's going good on your end, man. But this base was one from last war, and it seems like almost every war we see a base like this or some similar variation. Wouldn't you agree?
Yeah, this is a very popular base. It's difficult to three-star this base unless you know exactly what you're doing. But the problem with this base is that because it's so common and because there's so many limited giant bomb, Tesla, and trap spaces, people who've attacked this base know exactly how to tackle it.
Yeah, I know that you get a big smile on your face, and so do I every time we see this base because we know it's a three-star in the bag. Let's talk about the giant bomb spots. I would say what 90, if not 95% of the time they're in the exact same spots. What do you think?
Yeah, you're totally right. Usually they are on the 12 o'clock and the 6 o'clock positions. I can mark them over here.
Yep.
But sometimes this base will have some modifications where they could be on the edges. This one just happens not to have any space, so we know they're not there.
Right.
But the way you're going to attack is slightly different if you know there's a little bit more spaces that are open.
Right. This one was, I mean, again, when you see it like this and they've sort of got this built-in protection or they feel like it's protected in front of them, it's almost always there. So you know it's there. Let's talk a little bit about how you trigger them and how I've seen it done this way. I've done it this way. It's been called the goblin trick. On the north side especially, it works quite well because if you drop a couple goblins there, the closest collector or storage is going to be right in the path of those giant bombs. So all you've got to do is get something to tank for your goblins, and you can drop them, and they're going to do the triggering for you at one troop space.
Yeah, you're correct here. So the Goblin Trick works, and they've been featured. The Goblin Trick has been featured in most of our videos. A lot of people in our clan use this trick. But if you drop a Goblin anywhere over here in the top, the left Goblin is going to head straight to this collector because it's the first free one. The right Goblin is also going to head to this gold mine because it's the first free building. If there were any... let's go to the south for example.
Yeah.
In this situation, you can't drop a goblin because they'll both head to this gold mine.
Yep.
But there are ways to get rid to manipulate the goblin pathing. So for this bottom, what you can do is you can destroy this gold mine, and once you do, if you release your goblins, they'll head straight to this.
Yeah, and
trigger all the giant bombs that we've marked. I'm going to mark them in blue.
Yeah, and we're going to see it in the video. That's exactly what you do. You actually use your Barbarian King to sort of take out that gold mine and to tank for the goblins there so they have a clear path. Also, you've brought your clan castle down to the bottom in order to kill them and also use those leftover troops to funnel up and take out the Archer Queen. That in this base layout, she's relatively exposed because your things like your witches, your wizards, they're gonna sort of funnel in there naturally because there's no buildings drawing them to circle around the base, and she's gonna hop over the wall for you. It's gonna be always a pretty easy Archer Queen kill.
Yeah, she's very exposed at this position because the amount of walls. If let's just say, for example, these walls in orange had cut off this way, the Archer Queen would be a little bit more difficult to access.
Yep.
However, if you put those walls there, then they eliminate the giant bomb possibilities.
Exactly.
And you know the giant bombs will be on the left and the right.
Exactly. No matter what they do, you're gonna be able to get to them. What about spring traps? Do you worry about spring traps on this base, Rex, or is it something that you don't?
Before we get into the spring traps, I just want to clarify something. The Goblin Trick can be used on this base. When I attacked this base, it was more of a safeguard just to be able to save my heals, just in case I needed them elsewhere. the way that I attack this base, what I do is I destroy this cannon. If you destroy these two defenses, let's say, then hogs have no reason to even pass through this area.
Good point.
Same thing. Yep. If you destroy these two defenses, the hogs have no reason. So they won't even be triggering these giant bombs.
And that's a good point. And not to throw this out there, but especially on the north there, a person could probably even loon just those two defenses, and you could even forget about that altogether coming in from the top, because those giant bomb areas would be eliminated from your hogs traveling there. So that's a good point. You've got a few options, but you did it with hogs. You actually took out those two defenses and then went ahead and proactively triggered the bombs.
Yeah, so the way I attack this is slightly different, because the position of the air defenses, I believe this air defense, the only defense that was not covered in air was this one cannon.
Right.
So I was thinking about, hey, should I use a balloon or should I just use hogs? And the reason that I ended up choosing hogs is because I needed to get the clan castle lure either way.
Yep.
And if I use a loon, I know that loon is going to take at least 3 or 4 to even get the lure, lure. And I wasn't sure if there was going to be the complete lure. If they have a lot of archers, loon usually do a bad job of luring the clan castle completely.
Yeah, good point.
So that's why I opted for the hogs.
Yeah, that's a good point. And I've seen it. It seems like it's making a comeback. Shortly after the update, where hogs got to be less popular, people stopped using a large number of archers. But it seems like lately we're seeing it more and more in wars. It's like coming back, and so you've got to sort of be prepared for that and have enough troops to get that lure completed. So that's a good point.
Sorry to cut you off again, Jake. One more thing to say about the other reason that I wanted to use hogs is because there are sometimes clan castles that are loaded with ground-only troops. I've seen a lot of new clan war and war clans use Valkyries, barbarians, loons in their clan castles, and if I ended up luring with loons, then those troops don't even come out.
Definitely.
And when I finally deploy my hogs, they'll come out and just wreak havoc on all of my hogs.
That's another excellent point. Yeah, I've seen that happen as well.
Yeah. So back to your point about spring traps. We know exactly where these spring trap positions are, and every time you'll see them in the same place on this base. And I'm going to circle them right here.
Yeah,
there's usually one right here and one right here. So the 5th and the 6th one are slightly different, but.
Yeah, the thing that gets me about the people that do these walls like this, I understand it's meant to funnel troops there to force them into that spring trap, but it also gives away exactly where your spring traps are. If you see a wall that's segmented like that with one opening, you can just forget about it. There's a spring trap there.
Yep. And if I were even doing a base design, if I were to copy this layout, I would even go as far as to eliminate those walls, like you said.
Yeah.
And in fact, I would put 3 spring traps right next to each other. On the same side.
I agree. I like that, because what ends up happening is when your hogs run in on a thing, they're never in a perfect line. They're sort of spread. And it's devastated me in hog raids before. If you have 3 in a row like that, sometimes boom, 15 hogs, or excuse me, 9 hogs are gone.
9 hogs.
Yeah, they're just gone, and that can really hurt you.
Yeah. So the 2nd and the 3rd attacks, they know where the spring traps are.
Mm-hmm.
So they'll attack from the opposite direction.
Mm-hmm.
However, it has the possibility to just destroy someone's first time attack on it.
Yeah. You hog this base. We're sort of hoggers at heart, and it's hard for us to get away from that. But is there any other attacks you might use on this base that other guys that aren't, maybe their hogs aren't leveled up?
Yeah. So this base is actually pretty easy to go wipe. And that's just because the natural the ring of defenses,
mm-hmm.
and the few amount of compartments, because Go Wipe just thrives on big open areas like this, where you have this entire section just completely free. This entire section's free. This entire section's free. So the only big compartments you have are these 4 that I'm gonna circle in blue.
Right.
You got that section, this section, and this section.
Yeah, and if you can get those P.E.K.K.A.s in that core, you're going to have, even if they just take that out and what's exposed, you're going to have most of the defenses down.
Yeah, It's just really easy to get the P.E.K.K.A.s into the core because of the ring. We're just going to bust a hole, and then the P.E.K.K.A.s are going to go right through the middle because there's no partition right here that prevents the P.E.K.K.A.s from entering the core.
Right, no moat, nothing like that. It's just one wall, so that's no problem for a P.E.K.K.A. Back, we threw that out there, but obviously we're going to watch your replay here in a minute, and you used hogs. So when it came time to send your hogs in, what path did you take, and why did you take it?
So, as we were talking about earlier, we want to eliminate these defenses. Mm-hmm. And you'll see that the first thing I do is I eliminate this defense, and then the clan castle. Can you click the clan castle real quick?
Yeah, there you go. Yeah, as soon as
you can see the area of the clan castle. I decided I could choose to either go from the bottom and lure from here, but I didn't. I decided not to do that because the archer queen is right here. It'll destroy my hogs as I'm trying to lure, so I'm going to have to invest quite a bit of hogs. So I decided to go from the top. What I'll do here is I'll send hogs here with the giant to tank, and I'll send a few hogs here. So there are a couple of points that I wanted to mention. Is I want to destroy these two defenses, as I said, but the right side has a spring trap that's closer than the left side. Mm-hmm. So that's why I decided to use more hogs on this left side, because I know that they'll take out this cannon. The next thing they'll attack is this archer tower. They'll get the lure, destroy this, maybe even destroy this archer tower. Maybe my goal was to destroy this wizard tower. And if those defenses were all destroyed, so let's say these were destroyed, then I know what I do on this opposite side is I send just enough to destroy this one so that I can force my hogs to go in this sort of path.
Gotcha. You're eliminating a spring trap, basically.
Yeah, so from this core, they'll be split up over here, but potentially I'll avoid this spring trap and these bombs altogether.
Yeah.
It just kind of mitigates the amount of damage that the spring trap is able to do against my hogs.
Right. I don't think your hogs actually made it to the wizard tower to get that taken care of, but when you did come in with your hogs, you came in sort of from the bottom left, and tell us why you chose that.
Yeah, so I could choose either the bottom left or the bottom right. I think it doesn't really matter. My goal for the bottom left was, and this is timing here. I'm going to delete some of these arrows. So as I was trying to avoid the spring trap on the top left, I was also trying to avoid the spring trap on the bottom right. And my goal was to start from here and go through this way. Mm-hmm. You'll see what I'll do is I'll lure, the lure will come back down. I'll kill the lure down here, and then my cleanup crew will start attacking this queen. And as they're attacking this queen, I want them to destroy these buildings and hopefully this one in time. That way, I could avoid that spring trap and that spring trap. Boom! There's already 2 spring traps that are avoided, and all 4 giant bombs.
Yeah. If you can, and really in a hog raid, what you've broke down here just in the last few minutes, if you can eliminate giant bombs or possible locations for giant bombs, avoid a couple spring traps, and take out the queen, the rest is pretty simple.
Yeah, you're exactly right, and that's exactly what we do with OneHive. We're just experts at knowing where the traps are, identifying, and figuring out ways to avoid the traps altogether.
Yeah, and you did an expert job of it. If you'll clean up your scribbles, we'll start this replay, and we'll watch this how it went down live, man.
Sure.
All right, you're going to see him start up top there. The giant, just to take some of that damage, they're going to take a lot more damage than his hogs. And right there, boom, you see the goblins come in. One on the right got taken out by that wizard tower, but his hogs went ahead and triggered the bomb. His hogs did get to that wizard tower, but unfortunately, the king and some of those clan castle troops prevented it from going down. But hey, it was a good try on that. He's bringing like we talked about, bringing the clan castle down to the bottom. He's going to drop his clan castle, which has the normal setup in it, which is a couple wizards, a couple barbs, and take care of that real simply. It's always good to follow it up with your queen, and right there's the king that we talked about. He's going to take out that gold collector, It's also going to take tank for what damage there. And right there you see, boom, there's the 2 goblins that come in. That was perfect. They triggered both those bombs. The witches, the wizards, they were never in threat because the bombs were gone before they got there. In comes the hogs. He spreads them out across all these defenses here. And as you can see, that one, like you talked about that spring trap, the wizard tower was almost dead. He only lost 1 hog to it, so that was a good job there. Starts dropping his heals as the majority of his hogs enter the center of the base. He had some go up top. He lost 3 to that spring trap that he almost got a chance to avoid. And they do a good job of cleaning up there as the rest of the hogs hollow out that core and just work their way through this base, man. It's like we said, the giant bombs are eliminated, the queen's eliminated. After that, it's just keeping them alive with those heal spells and letting them do their thing. The complete bottom half of the base is wrecked right now. The last defense went down. There you'll see he jumps on the king, and at this point it's cleanup time, man. More than enough hogs left over, but he also has barbarians, his archer queens, he's got a witch. He's got tons of DPS left, and you'll see as he finishes up here, if you guys see this base, do it just like that. You're going to have a similar result. So awesome job, Rex, man. Just wreck that base.
Thanks, Jake. It's actually something I've been practicing for a while. That's one of the first bases that I started wrecking way back before the hog nerf. Yeah. Way back when I first joined OneHive. So it's one of my favorite bases to see because I know exactly how to tackle it, and I've had hundreds of hours to practice against that base. Well,
it shows, man. And just to be perfectly honest with you, I was going to claim that base, and you beat me to it. So congratulations there. But, God, man, it's good to have you.
You better work on your type, and you got to be a little bit faster.
No doubt, man. It's good to talk to you, man. It's been a while since you've been gone for a few days here. But thank you so much for taking the time to come back and do this sort of on your vacation. I really appreciate it.
Yeah, thanks again for having me, and we'll let you close out.
All right, man. Guys, as always, Jake and Rex from OneHive trying our best to help y'all suck less.